Hello, welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and today what we're going to be doing is looking at how to make some really pretty resin beads. And they are so easy to make, but you get some great results from them. And I've got two sorts of molds here. I've got some pre-made ones that I got off the internet, and I will link these below. And I've also got the bead molds that I made quite a long time ago, and I'll link the video on how to make this mold at the end of this video. I've also got my resin mixed up. Now, I've got some mica powders and some glitter, and I've also got a bit of clear in one of the molds. Because one of the molds, I'm going to pop in some dried petals. And these are petals that I've just dried myself, and I'm just going to pop in. I'm just using a pair of tweezers for them. Now, one of the things that you must remember when you're using these molds is that you need to keep the actual post, which is there, central. Don't put anything in that's going to push that post out of the way, because sometimes you can, certainly with dried flowers and bits, they are a lot stiffer than what you would think, and you can push it out the way. So all I'm doing is I'm just randomly putting in these dried petals. I will link as well how to dry your own flowers to use in resin, because it is really easy and it does save you quite a lot of money, and also it does save you quite a lot of time. Making sure that when you're putting your flowers in that none of the bits are sticking out the top, because what you don't want is you don't want any sharp bits on it, and they can get sharp once they have cured. I really also don't mind in this one if there's bubbles, because actually I quite like bubbles in the beads. I think they give a little bit of magnification, and they also give it a little bit of extra dimension. And it's not very often that you'll hear me say that I like bubbles in anything, really. I've just put a variety of different petals in there, put some tiny bits of lavender in there as well. I've pushed it down to make it nice and even. And then I'm just going to top it up, and then once it's topped up, I will leave that to cure and we can come back and see that. With the ones without the flowers, I'm just going to use a mix of the different resins that I've got in here, and I really don't mind how they come out. I'm not looking for a specific shape. And the other thing that I'm doing is I'm not going to be rinsing out or cleaning out my pipette as I go, because I really don't mind that it's all going to blend together. I've got some copper, I've got some gold glitter, I've got some white mica, and I think this is purple glitter if I remember reading it right. So I'm just going to go round, and then I'm going to pop in the colours on top of each other. Again, not worrying about if there's any bubbles, because I really don't mind. Now, the glitter will sink into it, because what you've got is I'm using quite a thin resin. And it's important to use the right resin for the right job. I find that this resin works really well for me, so I'm quite happy to use a thinner resin. Also, I find the thinner resins, when you're working with it like this, actually allows you to blend in a little bit easier what's already in the mold that you're using. So this one here I'm going to do as well. And what we can do is we can have a look at and see what the beads come out like for both the homemade mold and the shop bought mold. Now, you don't actually have to have the bit that sticks up in it, because you can always use your Dremel afterwards to put the hole through. But actually I find that when you've got bigger holes like this one, then it is easier to actually have the mold. You can also make rings using this same technique, and I've got a ring mold. Again, I will link this back into the description below, so you're there. Now all you need to do is just pop in your resin. Just do it random as well. And these rings can turn out, where the resin is cured, a little bit sharp on the edges. So what I will do is at the end of this video, I will also show you how to get rid of those sharp edges to make them nice and comfortable to wear. These have all cured now, so it's going to be just a case of taking them out of the mold. So that one's out completely. Oh, that's come out nice, that bead. It has got the little hole in it there, as you can see, and that bead has come out really, really pretty. Now, these little ones, if you can't get them out, then I have some soapy water here. I just spray it on, release a little bit of the edge, and that cracks the vacuum, and then you can just pull it out. And there we go, there's a multicoloured one. That's sweet. I took all the ones out that I made with the actual shop bought mould, and these are the ones that I made with my homemade mould. So they're the homemade ones, and they're the shop mould ones. Now personally I like my homemade ones better, but that's just maybe a bit of bias because I think they mould a little bit neater. And this is the rings. They've come out beautiful. With the rings where I think they've got a bit of rough on them, like here, this one's got a bit of rough on that bead. What I'll do is I'll just take a piece of sandpaper, and quite a high grit, this is 120 grit, and then I will just rub it around until it gets soft. Make sure you wear a mask whenever you're using sandpaper and resin, because you don't want to be breathing in this. Just go round in little circles, and then that takes off all that rough. Now you might be thinking to yourself, but I don't like that now. So all you need to do is wipe that dust off there like that, dry it off like so, and take a tiny bit of resin on your finger and wipe it round. Now that'll smooth that all off, and also that will give it a nice gloss shine. And there we go, you get a nice ring that is not sharp at all. Now regarding the beads, what I use is I like to use these, what they're called head pins, and they're all easily available on the internet, and I will actually link them, and you can buy lots of different things. There's so much available. So you've got nice end bits here that you can pop that through, pop that on your bead like that, so it gives you that sort of finish, and then you can easily make a nice earring with those. So all I do to make my earrings is, if I'm going to make a pierced earring, is I take my pliers like this, and I will pull that over like so, whip that up a little bit, get that into the shape that I want it. Okay, and you can have the drop as long as you want it. I mean, this is quite a short drop I've done here. Cut that off, and there we go. You've got a nice earring. Now, if you want, you can also put some fancy bits on it as well, like that, onto the top of that earring. And you can glue these on if you want to make them so that they're there, or you can wire them on. It's entirely up to you. And I have got a video on how to make jewellery, so I'm not going to go through it all in here. I'm just trying to show you how flexible these sorts of things are. And you can do that with the square ones, or you could chain them, link them up. You know, there's so many things that you can do with this sort of thing. And additionally, if with the rings that you really like them, you don't have to wear it as a ring. You can wire them together. You can make a nice necklace from them. You can glue them together, make a nice necklace from them. There's so much you can do with them. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Check out my video that's coming up next. I will link the one on being able to and how to make your own jewellery using the tools and jewellery wire and things. That will be really helpful. Check out the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. If you'd like to say thank you for any of my videos or help me buy the bits and pieces that I need to keep making these videos 3 times a week, everything is really, really appreciated. And everybody's names that buys me a coffee will either go onto the Wall of Fame, so you'll be able to see it on the Wall of Fame, or onto the pressure pot. Take care, enjoy your resin, have fun, bye.